how you can save 80% of your time and double your lead flow without hiring more reps or paying for expensive data softwares like ZoomInfo using the new way of automated cold outbound in 2024. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can save 80% of yours or your sales rep's time. And if that sounds outrageous, you won't believe me when I say it can double your leads at the same time without hiring more reps or paying for ZoomInfo. And all of this is done using one simple tool. In this video, I'm going to show you every single step on how to use that tool. And by the end of it, you will be a proficient operator of the tool so you can get 80% of your time back. The tool is called Clay.com. Clay is used to create automated outbound workflows that fill your pipeline with less manual work and in less time. And in June 2024, they raised $46 million at a $500 million valuation. The platform is currently used by 2,500 go-to-market teams like Notion, Intercom, and ActiveCampaign. So clearly there's a lot of hype and success around the platform already. But first, why should you listen to me? My name is Isaac Wood, and I'm the founder of Levergrowth.io. And over the last 8 months, my lead generation agency has sent over 2 million cold emails. We've generated over 1,600 positive replies that have booked over 500 calls. And in that time, we've helped 24 B2B service business agencies and software businesses create cold email campaigns to help them book 10 to 20 qualified calls every single month on autopilot. Here are a couple screenshots from recent campaign results just to show you what we're doing here is generating positive results. Some recent client feedback from our internal channels. So what are we covering today? First, we'll cover why your sales rep is wasting 80% of their day doing the wrong tasks. Then we'll cover 6 areas where Clay can help. And then we'll give you a step-by-step plan to build a targeted lead list with 3 personalizations inside of Clay. Here's what your average sales rep's day looks like. I know this because I used to be an SDR at a VC-funded startup back in the day. And so basically this is how the day-to-day goes, right? Building lists inside of LinkedIn Sales Navigator and using ZoomInfo, doing manual account research, manually finding good fit contacts, then manually enriching the contact information for emails and phone numbers so you can actually do the outreach. Once you have all that information, then you'll spend 5 to 15 minutes actually writing those emails specific to the audience that you just scrubbed and scraped. Once that actually happens, then you'll go through your sending tool like Outreach or SalesLoft, and then you can call those leads directly in your CRM. As you can see here, like 80% of the day is spent doing manual tasks. And so all time spent doing manual list building, writing personalized messaging is going to be wasted because it can be automated entirely by Clay. Think about it this way. If you can save 4 hours per day by automating your research and your list building, you can save 20 hours per week per rep. So over the course of the year, just assume that the average rep is making $26 per hour or $55,000 per year. This is based on some data from ZipRecruiter. You're going to save $26,000 in cost per sales rep alone. Now, let me say that one more time. You can add an extra $26,000 per rep directly to your bottom line by using Clay. Not to mention the extra time you can use for outbound calling, for manually following up with high intent and best fit leads, and doing social selling on platforms like LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Instagram, wherever your audience lives. And if your sales rep has an extra 20 hours per week to sell, do you think that they'd be able to 2x, 3x, or even 5x their outputs? I'd say it's probably a good bet. So if you agree that an extra $26,000 per rep per year and 2 times more leads is going to help your business, then let's keep going. So where can Clay actually help you? Think of Clay as a workflow tool that can basically do all of the manual done by a VA or an SDR with 100% accuracy. The tool enables insanely targeted prospecting at scale. You can build your dream list with a fraction of the time and money historically required to do so. The efficiencies generated from Clay are absolutely game changing. And so here are 6 key areas where Clay can help. First, contact data enrichment. So historically, most businesses have relied on outsourced VAs to augment the manual work required to find contact information for large data sets so you can do your outreach. Or you have your in-house team upload, download CSVs from multiple data providers just to get someone's email or their phone number. And a 5,000 person list can take over 5 hours to scrape manually, as well as doing the verification there. So Clay can actually help cut this time in half or more. So meaning if you're spending 5 hours doing the list building before, now you actually have an extra 2.5 hours to sell. So Clay can automatically and seamlessly pull this information from 50 different data providers natively in the platform, can scrape their website for doing AI research, and then infer information about the account using ChatGPT. You can do this by using one or multiple data tools inside of Clay with just a few clicks of a button. The next area where Clay can help is signals and trigger events. So using signals and trigger events like job changes are critical for writing personalized outreach, but it's extremely hard to do at scale, especially when it's manually, right? So doing searches and copy and pasting data is super ineffective, and it can take an SDR 10 to 15 minutes per step here. So just assume that an SDR has 200 contacts to outreach per day. It can take them 10 minutes per contact to actually create trigger-based messaging. So now you can see how quickly the day turns from doing sales into admin research, and that's obviously not sales activity. So this is another workflow that can be done entirely inside of Clay. Next one we have is data syncs and data lookups. So say you're doing outreach to prospects, but you're not sure if this person is already in your CRM. You aren't sure when they were last engaged, or you're not even sure if they're a customer. This research can take your SDR out of their workflow. So this is going to be them checking multiple data tools, multiple places. This is going to be inefficient. This is going to get them out of their flow. And so you can now use Clay to sync up with your CRM so you can know exactly where your prospect is in their customer journey, and you can write messaging accordingly. So you can push or pull your data directly from Clay to your CRM or your email automation tool like SmartLead, basically in seconds. Another great area where Clay helps is message personalization. So above all, relevance over personalization. So if your messaging is not going to be relevant, then personalization doesn't matter. But assuming you're coming to the market with a relevant message, this is going to be a total game changer for you. So looking up a prospect on LinkedIn, reviewing those intent signals, making sure that they're the right fit, and then drafting personalized outreach can take quite a bit of time, call it 15 minutes per prospect. This research is now done using scraped data and a few AI prompts entirely inside of Clay, so you can get a hyper-targeted, super relevant, and personalized message with a very high degree of accuracy. The next area where Clay helps is task automation. So sequencers have been developed to push emails into a sequence automatically. There's still a lot of manual and admin work that you need to do in order to keep the data accurate. So Clay will simplify this by enabling you to quickly scrape and verify lead lists, create personalizations, push your email into the sequencer or your CRM entirely inside the tool. Again, saving you quite a bit of time finding data in multiple places. It also helps prioritizing human required tasks. So a lot of this can be automated, but there's obviously going to be a human required when it comes to selling, right? So assuming that you're doing outbound, you're already getting some engagement, and those prospects are actually responding to your emails, there are critical next steps that require a human, right? Phone calls and then additional follow-ups. So Clay can actually help prioritize this outreach list by automating your lead scoring based on a set of specific criteria that you can set out without the need for human intervention. So do you see how using Clay can create massive leverage for your SDR team to focus what they do best, which is selling, right? So if you're not using Clay in your outbound workflows, then you're missing out on huge time-saving efficiencies, ultimately hurting your team's ability to hit their sales goals. So that's why Clay is the most exciting tool to use in B2B lead generation in 2024. So now that you have a sense of what is actually possible with Clay.com, let's get into the platform and actually show you how to use it. So the goal for this list is to build out a targeted lead list with 3 personalizations entirely inside of Clay.com. So these are the steps. First, we'll build a list of good fit companies. Then we'll enrich the people and company using their LinkedIn integration. Then we'll find work emails using their personal LinkedIn profile URLs, and then we'll build out some personalizations, determining if the company is B2B or B2C, determining if what type of customers the prospect sells to, and then figuring out what case studies that they actually have on their website. So you can use that to personalize your outreach. Right, so first step here is building a list of good fit companies. So first you'll want to go to My Workspace, select Create New, and then select a table. Select Find Companies data source, and you'll set your filters. So these are a couple example filters that we're using here. So call it advertising, excluding IT, company size 11 to 50 in the United States, and then you hit preview companies. It'll then give you a nice little list. And so once you've actually been able to look at your preview list, you're going to want to just import those companies into a new table. So you can choose to add different enrichments here. So there's these toggles that you can select. They're going to cost additional credits, especially if you're not using an API key. So what I just recommend doing, especially when you're starting, is just click continue for free, and you'll get the basic profile information. So you can do most of what you need from there. So then the next step here, right, we have a list of companies based on the criteria that we set up before, right? So it's showing us, okay, cool, we have our companies, their name, the description based on LinkedIn, their industry, their size, company type, location, country, their actual domain name, and then the company's LinkedIn URL. Now that we have a list of ideal fit companies, we want to find and enrich the contacts so we can actually do outreach. So now what you want to do is go back to My Workspace and then set up a new table. This time you want to select Find People. And so under Companies, you'll select Clay Table to find people from the table you literally just created. So then select the table and leave the default settings. So then you'll filter for your ideal fit customer personas and then select Import People, then continue for free. So this is basically what it'll look like inside of the platform. So, right, you'll select this Clay table and then you'll pick out whatever your table that you just built. And then below here, you can just select whatever types of criteria that you want to select. And then you'll get a preview list showing you exactly who they are, what their title is, and then you'll get their LinkedIn data too. Then you want to just hit Import People. So now that we've filtered our list down to the relevant contacts to reach out to, we actually need to get their email addresses. So what we'll do is we'll use any of the Find Work email enrichments to collect the email. So you'll want to click Add Enrichments, and then you can just search work or email, and then it'll show you all of these different email providers. So again, if you have an API key, you can, for any of these data tools, I would recommend setting that up. It's going to save a lot of credits. But these are all of the different data tools that Clay has, and they're always adding more. So once you've selected your data provider, then you want to map your fields and select Save. So right, full name, company domain, find the email. Now you have email addresses to actually do outreach to. So again, to summarize here, right, we got our company data, then we have our people data, and then now we're finding the actual work emails of the relevant job titles. So now we have company, we have our people. Now we want to build out our personalizations so we can actually do customized outreach. Personalizations can make a huge difference in terms of reply rates. So they also help with deliverability because personalized messages are more unique than just a broad blast. And therefore, they'll be less likely to get picked up by spam filters. And so obviously the main goal of any of this is getting in the primary inbox. So this is another benefit, right? So the next steps are to actually create the personalizations that we can use. These are just going to be 3, but these are literally only limited by your imagination. So let's dive into them. All right, so now let's determine if the company is selling B2B or B2C. So this is important because if you're selling to a B2B audience, then you only want to be targeting companies that work with other businesses, not consumers. Then you can use this in your copy to call it the fact that they are B2B, or you can use this classification to score your lead list for personalization purposes. So to do this, use Claygen, which is combining Google search with web scraping and ChatGPT. So this is the prompt that you want to use to get the result. So I'll click into it here. It says scrape the web and the company LinkedIn description to determine if this company, and then include the merge field for the company domain, is B2B or B2C. B2B companies sell to businesses, B2C companies sell to consumers. If they are B2B, output B2B. If they are B2C, output B2C. If they are both, output B2B and B2C. If you cannot determine which, output cannot determine. Here's the company description, and then you include the company LinkedIn description. So what that'll actually get you is this result. As you can see here, it'll break it down, B2B. All of these are B2B in this case. So this, if you want to see more information about exactly like the reasoning behind that, you can actually click into these and then it'll show you what their reasoning is and it'll give you a confidence level. So you can be sure that it's accurate. So the next step here is determining what type of customers that your prospect actually sells to. So understanding the type of customer a company sells to is important because it shows that you've done your research on them and you can make your copywriting more specific to their actual situation. So if you understand who they sell to, then you're also more likely to understand what they do, their value proposition, and the problems that they face. The overall benefit of this personalization is building rapport more quickly. So use this prompt inside of Clay to get the results. So this is just going to be the ChatGPT integration or enrichment here. And so what you'll do is, based on the company description, who would be their main target customer, describe them in at most 3 words. For example, restaurant owners or financial leaders. Don't include any other characters and give the answer in lowercase only. So here is the company description to use. Once you do that, you'll get these results. Right, so who their target customer is in 3 words or less. And again, you could click into the cell details to kind of see what behind the scenes of what's going on. So let's talk about finding case studies on the company's website. So finding and calling out your prospect's case study is another personalization that shows you've done your research. So the overall benefit of using this personalization is to build rapport with the prospect by showing you've done an extra layer of research to actually understand them and their situation. For this one, you'll want to use Claygen enrichment. So the way that you do that is you give it the mission of find one case study for the following company. Here is their company. Here is their website. And then you insert the merge field for their company domain. So a case study is usually proof of success that a company can get results for other companies or people. Only look at the provided website. Do not Google search elsewhere. It will be found on one of the following pages: our work, or case studies, or testimonials, or past work, or portfolio, or projects, or clients, or reviews section. Do not return the name of the company. Return just the name of one company found that is a case study. If you cannot find one, return none found. And so this is what the results will look like. And then again, you get their reasoning and their confidence level. So this will be important because, if you have none found, then you're just not going to want to include that personalization, but you do find them, then you can use that as a merge field in your copy, which is great. So now we have a fully enriched list with 3 hyper-specific personalizations. So we have individual, we have company level, we have company LinkedIn description, which is what we're using to basically do our personalization enrichments. We've found our email address of our contacts. We've determined if they're B2B, B2C. We've determined their target customer and have found their website's case studies. So here's a quick credit saving pro tip. So what you'll want to do is just turn off auto update columns. So this is going to help you save credits because you can accidentally run an entire column before you finalize your prompt. And so that's going to just charge you more credits. So to prevent this, you can turn off auto update columns. Just go to the top of the page and then select auto update columns and turn it off. This will save you a ton of credits, especially as you have to test new prompts to get your desired outputs. And so this is how you do it. You just select turn off table, you'll be good to go. So that's it for this video. If you want to learn how to do this, you want to have a cold email campaign set up directly for you, we will do that for you. This includes everything you actually need to do to set up the campaign. So that includes domain setup, DNS settings, adding emails to SmartLead, building your offer, building your list, doing some personalizations, setting it up and managing it for you. If that's something that's interesting, I've included a couple links down below. Find some time to book in with us. We'll hop on a call. We'll see if it's a good fit. And if it is, then we'll decide to work together. If not, it's all good too. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you got some value from this one. See you in the next video. Peace.